And good day, folks, and welcome back again to the channel. Today is going to be part 2 of my loading 6.5 Grendel with no published data. And I'm sure that you saw in the first episode, or the first part of this little adventure here, that we're probably doing some things that weren't all that advisable, not very smart by some people's opinion. But if you don't try something, you won't learn nothing. So that's kind of where I'm going about this at. What happened last time when I took these rounds to the range, first thing that happened, I had function issues. And I'd sat there and fired probably 50 rounds before I even got at firing the ones with the VMAX bullet loaded with the accurate 2495. Because, well, the headspace was just a little too tight for having a dirty chamber, and I didn't have a chamber brush there with me, so I couldn't do much about that. And the second thing was, when I resized these before, well, I tried to resize them as minimal as I could, which meant I only took about 2 to 3 thousandths pushback on the shoulder here, which may have not let me get all the way down on the body to get a good full-length resize. Well, that was a little bit of an issue, of course. Mixed with having a dirty chamber. When I resized these and tried them in my gun here on the bench, they all worked well. But of course, then I had a nice clean chamber. All these were clean, and everything was feeding and injecting fine here on the table. But once I got out there on the range, like I said, I had the chamber a little dirty, barrel a little dirty. And when I fired the first round, well, it functioned okay, but it had a lot of powder burn back up on the brass. And there was 2 reasons for that. One is it just was, the powder charge was real low for the cartridge. With the 95 grain VMAX bullet, I was only getting just right at 2,200 feet per second on my starting charges, which is, even at starting charge, that's real slow. I should have been at least around 2450. And also, with that low starting charge, the case just wasn't getting any obturation. It just wasn't expanding to the chamber to stop that blow-by of the powder. So I was losing a lot of chamber pressure, or pressure that would normally be going down the barrel pushing the bullet. And it was real gassy, as if I would have been using a suppressor with a lot of back pressure on it. So there were some issues with feeding, and I fired like 3 rounds and I quit. I wasn't going to push it any more than that. They were starting to get stuck, and that last one I fired, I almost had to mortar it out to get it loose from the chamber, and that was not going to happen as far as I was concerned. I wasn't going to sit there and fight with that. So I decided to give up, and I came home and I pulled all these. They were all of these that I had made up with the VMAX and the accurate 2495. And I pulled the primers as well. I'm planning on reusing those in these same cartridges when I'm reloading here. But today I want to concentrate on starting a little higher with the starting charge, and also going to work on. I'm going to go ahead and, instead of just doing a minimal resize on these, I'm going to do a little bit more substantial resize on it. What I normally get on fired cases is about 1.216. I'm using my Hornady headspace comparator here. These right here, when I resize them, I'm only getting like 1.213, maybe a little heavy, 1.213, 1.214. So I'm just real shallow on headspace anyway, and if I'm not getting enough pushback on that shoulder and my die's not coming all the way down here to the bottom, which actually they look pretty good, but you can't really see 1,000 or 2 with the eyeball, and that may be all I need to get them to feed a little bit better with once the chamber starts getting a little dirty. I have one right here that I've gotten a full length size on with the die set properly, and it is 1.204. So somewhere between 1.204 and 1.216 is where I want to end up. And I think that I want to see if I can get these to bump back to about 1.208. And we'll try, splitting the difference between lowest and high, or between fire chamber length and the full length resize, and see what that gets us. I'm going to take a minute here to set up the die and see what I can get happening here. So I'm thinking I'm going to need, I don't really like to use these, but that's what's handy. I'm thinking I'm going to have to, I haven't loosened this in a little bit, so there we go. It wasn't that bad. Not real, now I guess I'm going to need a wrench to get that collar loose. I don't know where it's at right at the moment. Get my lunch out of here. Lunch bag, that is. Got a little reclosable plastic bucket here that I use to put some things in. I don't know where my lock ring wrench is at the time. Hoping this is the one. Doesn't look like it though. I don't think it is. No, that's not it. Looks like it might be closer to the right size. Let's see. Yeah. Alright, went in there. Alright, there we go. Yeah, that's loose. I'm going to get this one right here. This is the one I resized at 1.204. Stick it up in there. Actually, that's not what I wanted even. I think I'm going to need a little wax, a little size and die wax to keep from getting stuck here while I get readjusted. Now there I'm still touching normally when you do a full length size you want to take the ram all the way to the top until it bumps the shoulder or bumps the bottom of the die, lower the ram, and then turn down about another quarter to half a turn. That'll give you a good solid connection between the shell holder and the bottom of the die when you raise it up to do a full length size. But I want to see if I can reduce that number a little bit. That one didn't feel like it did much. Oop. Well, did more than I thought. 1.209. So that's pretty close. Let's try one more. Let me take that down just about that much. And try one more. Can't believe it was that close on the first try. Yeah. No, that was just barely, that was just pure luck. 1.214. So I'm not getting there yet. Come on. That felt like it touched a little harder. Alright, that is 1.2085. So that's, yeah, 1.208. So that's about right there where I wanted it to be. So let me get that ring tightened just a little more and try one more of these cases. Doesn't feel like a lot of work going on here. .208. Good. So I don't know why, but that one there is about 1.206, about 2 thousandths difference. So I'm not sure why that was. But anyway, that's not horrible. I can live with that. I just hope it's not going to be a problem with them being 2 or 3 thousandths difference. I don't want to have them inconsistent. That one is 1.206 again. Well, I don't like that. Maybe it just wasn't locked down good enough. Seems like it was though. Alright, 1.209, 1.209, a little bit more. There we go, 1.208. Alright, so I think I'm going to go ahead and run all of these guys. I'll turn the camera off. If anything goes on between now and the time I get these resized and back in the tumbler and cleaned up real good, well, I'll turn the camera back on. Otherwise, I'll see you when we get ready to start dropping powder. I may go ahead and turn the camera on when I put the primers in. I haven't ever used the RCBS hand primer on camera, so I think I'll do that this time. Alright, see you in a little bit. Yeah, folks, so we're back just for a minute. I'm trimming all these guys and champering them. None of them really need more than about 1 or 2 thousandths trimming, but I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and do it all while I'm in the process of making all these cases the same. I've got them all resized to 1.208 like we wanted. Plus or minus 1 thousandth there. I mean, I've got a couple of them that I measured afterwards that come out 1.209, but I think that'll be just fine. I'm using my little cheapy Lee cutter case length gauge with the wooden ball on it. Helps my old hands a little bit better. I got a little touch of arthritis, so it helps me hold on to that cutter a little easier. And just giving them a quick little trim here before I put them in the Frankfurt Arsenal Light tumbler. See, that doesn't need much cutting at all. Got my cordless drill here. Sure makes it easier turning all this by hand. There are a lot more expensive and probably for some people better ways to trim cases than the Lee cutter and lock stud and all the our case length gauge with the lock stud for a drill than this, but that's for other people's opinion. I happen to kind of like this method. It's cheap and it's fast for me. There are several things you can use. Lee has that little jobby that goes in your die, or has a die that goes in the press, and run a case up in there and drop the cutter down inside, and they even have a piece where you can run the drill on it and spin it, and it trims and chamfers all at once, which that's nice, but I just haven't got around to trying that method yet. I've just been using this for quite a long time and it works for me, so this is what I do. I've sat here and trimmed and deburred a couple thousand cases of 223s before, and this is all I had, so it's pretty much what I do. Of course, when I first started, I didn't have the part for the drill to connect or to put the lock stud in, so it was a handy hand by hand job to get it done. But once I found that they had the lock stud for the drill, that was the ticket. And the little case length gauges, they're caliber specific, so you get one for each case that you get. Each little kit comes with the case length gauge and a shell holder for each caliber, and that's all you need. And these cutters, I've got one that I used up to a point, and it's been through probably, I don't know, several thousand cases, and it's still good and sharp. And this one here is pretty new, and it's, man, I mean, you could, if you're not careful, got your hand down there somehow or another, it could tear you open, I imagine. But if you're careful, you won't do that. It even comes with this handy little storage thing, man. Look at that. I got several calipers, extra cutter, Put all my pieces in there. Drop that in. Well, I'll have to take the case length gauge off of it. The threads are pretty tight, and then it has this split down the middle there, so it gives a little extra friction, so it doesn't back out on you while you're trying to use the thing. It's pretty handy. I like the setup. Not trying to advertise for Lee or anything like that, but it's just something I like. Not knocking or talking up Lee in any way. I'm just trying to say, hey, if you kind of got a budget and you want something that works really well and doesn't break the bank, well, there you go. Alright, so I'm going to take these and put them in the tumbler. I'll be back. Okay folks, I'm back. Got these cases back from the wet tumbler. Got them dried out. And it looks like they're pretty clean. Didn't leave them in there all day long. I only gave them about an hour and dried them off with a towel a little bit, shook them out, and threw them in the oven at 170 degrees for about 30 minutes. They're nice and dry. They're ready to go now. I'm going to be using this RCBS hand primer today. I don't use this all the time because it's kind of rough on my hands if I have to sit here and load with it a lot. But it's pretty fast and saves me a little setup time with the Ram Prime, so I'm going to use it for now. I guess it would help if I used the right shell holder. That's the bad part about it. Got to have a shell holder. Didn't think anything about that a while ago. I'd already done it. I've got a different one of these. It's a universal type. You don't need to use the shell holder in it. Normally I like it better, but it's broke. Got the jaw, one of the jaws is sprung a little bit, and that spring that goes around the outside of the jaws, it keeps them tight against your shell holder or against your case head, is broke on one end. It doesn't hold the jaw straight. Oh, you can tell how often I use this thing. Like almost never. It is fast once you get it set up and going, but now maybe we can get going. Kind of got the auto ejection with this one here though. The one with the spring-loaded jaws, you kind of have to yank it back out of there. Whoop. Been a little while since I used it, kind of fumbly. Alright, where'd it go? I had 25 here a minute ago. There it is. Alright. Set that aside. I'll put that over there too. That's the dirty one I'm not going to load. Alright, so if you remember from the first video, my starting charge was 26.4 grains back at $24.95. Well, I told you at the beginning of this one that that starting charge was way too low, that I wasn't getting very good velocity and really no alteration from the expansion of the case to the chamber. So I'm going to start a little bit higher this go round. And I'm going to make that starting charge 27.0. And we'll work our way up 4/10 of grain increments. And say 27.0, 27.4, 27.8, 28.2, and finish off at the top end on 28.6. And at any time along the way, should we get a little too on the warm side, well, we'll call it quits and mark that down as being the maximum charge. Alright, now I got my cases, a calibration weight, and I'm going to need a funnel, and a bowl, and a scoop. Alright. I like to use this little glass bowl here. Pour my powder in and scoop it out into the powder pan. Weigh it on the scale. Trickle it up. Even a little Frankfurt Arsenal trickler. I love this little guy. I've got another Lyman trickler, and it works good too, but I just like this little Frankfurt Arsenal a little better. It's a little bit heavier. calibrator scale. Put this 50-gram weight on there. Says pass. Good to go. Alright, switch mode. Grains. Oops. Alright. Nice and snug. Everything's set up pretty good now. And we want to start at 27.0. Whoop. It helps if you tear the scale with the pan on there. There we go. 0. 20.9. This 2495's got kind of a short stick, but it's kind of hefty, so it doesn't take a lot of them to get a 1/10 of a grain. When we went and shot these before, they were real gassy, so I don't know, I guess maybe this powder's either more dirty than I expected it to be, or it's just because of the bad operation, low charge weights. I'm not quite sure, but I think maybe if I would have been using like a 120 grain bullet, I probably would have had about the right starting charge. But with that little 95, it just wasn't nearly enough powder. Alright, so this is going to take a minute or two, so I'm going to pause the camera right here. Unless anything happens, I'll be back when we get ready to start seating some bullets. Alright folks, we're back. I got the powder weighed and got the 95 grain VMAXs ready to start seating them. The only thing you've got to do is set up the die. And like everything else, it helps when you got the right shell holder. That's twice today. Alright. let's see. What the? I don't think I'm going batshit crazy. Apparently I just might be. I thought I was fairly certain I had two Grendel shell holders, but apparently I don't. Okay, everything fall on the floor. That's all right. I'll get it. I'll get it. It's almost be enough to make a bad person go get in a real bad mood. Alright. Now we're cooking. I think I need to do something first, which is to set this die up. Alright. We're going to be seeing these bullets today at 2.235. That's what I see them at last time, and I think I'm going to stick to it. The Hornady book says 2.245, but from the last time we did that, that was just seemed barely into the case or into the neck, and that was seemed pretty shy. So 2.291, so I got about 50 thousandths to get down. Let's see. About a turn. Let's do that. .242, so 7 more thousandths. .236. Let's see another one. See what it does. .237. So about a pinch, and that'll do it. Even the highest charge of 28.6 grains was just barely looking like a fairly full case, so I don't think any of these guys are going to be even close to compressed. I guess I could put a little crimp on these guys. Yep, nice light crimp. With the exception of 3 of them, these are the same bullets that I had seated before, so they're not going to be, probably not going to be quite as accurate as they would have been before, but that's all right. My main thing right now is I want to get these charge weights right. Learn a little something more about this powder and this cartridge. After some more run through, looking for some data again. Between now and the first time we loaded this, I did find some Sierra data that used Active 2495, but they were on heavier bullets. So I don't know. We might try some heavier bullets with this powder and Grendel in the near future. I'm starting to collect some more bullets, different weights and styles, so we'll have a little bit more something to look at towards the summer. A little bit of powder starting to become available, some primers now and then. Damn primers are expensive though, about twice as much as they were last summer. .236, fine. All right, now if we can get these to shoot at the range next time, it'll be good. I'm hoping this is going to work for the best. Seems like this powder here is more available than quite a lot of the ones that I would normally buy. And it's a few dollars cheaper in most places too that I found, so I'm hoping I can get this to work out. Anyway, get back from the range, we'll fire this thing up again and let you know how it went. Thanks for coming by, and appreciate you taking the time to, if you looked at this video all the way to the end, you'll know that I'm just a poor cat trying to do whatever I can. So if y'all would like to help me out, I got a Patreon account. You can sure be most welcome to join. It's www.patreon.com/jet2416. Thank you very much. Hope to see you again soon.